BLOCKBUX. We love them. And we hate them. Hey everyone, I think by now everyone knows what BLOCKBUX are, and BLOCKBUX is only purchasable with Robux, and you can't really get it in the game except for small amounts when you join or when you have a 7-day streak. So when you join a lot, yes, you get them, but you have to buy most of them. So today we're checking out which items are worth BLOCKBUX and which aren't. So to go to the BLOCKBUX category, you need to go into Decorate and then BLOCKBUX, and then you can see every single item that is a BLOCKBUX. There is also a build mode section. So let's start this. First up, we have the sprayers, and those are like 10 BLOCKBUX each, 12 BLOCKBUX each. How much would that be? So 50 BLOCKBUX is 20 Robux, so that is not too expensive. However, I do think that these should be normal money, or at least the small one should be normal money. Like, it's pretty nice to have a sprayer like that, but is it worth spending Robux on? I'm not quite sure, and I don't know why they added that into the BLOCKBUX category. Then next up, we move to auto door sensor, and that always seemed like a logical thing for me to why that was added into the BLOCKBUX category. So what that does, if you place a door and then you go to the auto door sensor, if you walk up to a door, the door will automatically open and close, which is amazing for roleplays, because if I roleplay, my kids never close the doors and then they leave the game and all of my doors are open and I get so annoyed. So I usually put auto door sensors in houses I like to roleplay in. Not that I roleplay a lot, but if I do, I definitely use those. So definitely these are worth the BLOCKBUX for me. It's only 25, I think. How much? Yeah, there's a bigger one with a bigger range. So as you can see, the bubble is bigger. This one is 45 Robux. Then we have the DJ speaker. Now this one is really old, and I don't actually know if it does anything. Maybe if you play music. Oh yeah, if you play music, the bass starts going a little bit, but that's about it. So it's definitely not worth it, and I don't think it should be BLOCKBUX. Maybe they should change it to where it costs normal money now, but I know a lot of people would be angry because they paid 30 BLOCKBUX for it. So yeah, I get why they didn't do that. Moving on, we go to the spotlights and the party lasers and stuff like that. Those are special items. Not everyone needs them, so I understand why they are in the BLOCKBUX category. But then we go to my biggest frustration, and that is the miniature sprinkler and the normal sprinkler, the garden sprinkler. Now I do have a lot of those because I like to add flowers. So I still have 35 in my inventory. Placing them, it also creates a little bubble, and what you can do inside that bubble, so I think the bubble is about 6 in range, like 6 squares in range. What you can do is if you then go into garden and go to flowers, you can place flowers around this and they will not start to wither. However, I feel like that's such a waste of money for something that didn't used to happen. So this withering thing only started to happen with the gardening update like a year ago or 2 years ago. I don't remember how long ago that was. But yeah, I really don't think that you should pay BLOCKBUX to not have your plants die, which is like kind of ironic to me. Like, you need to pay to keep your plants alive. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of that, and 95 BLOCKBUX for the big garden sprinkler is definitely not worth it in my... Well, it is worth it because it keeps your plants alive, but it should be normal money. Or at least a miniature sprinkler should be normal money. Then moving on to the automatic light switch. And what this does is if you place it in a room that has lights, for example, let's say this room, I'm just gonna, I don't know, you can hide it anywhere you like basically. So let's say I'm hiding it just above the stove here so that you can barely see it. As you can see, the room is currently dark except for the fireplace, so it doesn't work on fireplaces and candles, but it does work on lights. If I go into the room, the light will turn on. If I leave it, the light will turn off. So that's what it does. It's 55 BLOCKBUX, which is quite expensive. However, I do think it's worth it, and I do think it belongs in the BLOCKBUX category because it's a special item, it's a unique item, and I don't know, I think it's definitely like an item that should be kept unique, if that makes sense. Moving on, we go to the Jukebox. Jukebox is really old as well. I really like it. Should it be BLOCKBUX? I don't know. It's a hard decision to make. Then we go to the Tall Waterfall. Now, the Tall Waterfall should not be BLOCKBUX because, let's be honest, a lot of people have waterfalls, but if you use them, you don't use one. Like, you don't just use one waterfall. So that means a lot of people have like a bunch of waterfalls. Now, mine is okay. I have 7 waterfalls, but that makes for 490 BLOCKBUX spent on them. Because if you have a waterfall, you always do like one is just not enough, so you place one next to it, and then you start spending a lot of money on that. And I don't know, I feel like it should be normal money to have waterfalls, because it's something that a lot of players use, and if you use one, you don't just buy one of them, so maybe it should be normal money. Then we go to the beverage fridge and the other mini fridge. I guess I don't know why they are BLOCKBUX, but I feel like we should have a normal mini fridge. So if you go into appliances, we should have a normal mini fridge that isn't a BLOCKBUX, because I feel like a lot of players just want to have like a small kitchen or a cute kitchen and like always need to use the bigger fridges because those are BLOCKBUX. And it would be nice because if you have your counter, it would be nice to be able to have some normal like fridge that isn't BLOCKBUX that you can place inside a counter. So if I use the beverage fridge, I can place that inside here. Now this one kind of looks broken, but it works with a lot of counters. So yeah, definitely we should have a fridge that isn't BLOCKBUX and works with a counter, because I don't know, tiny fridges shouldn't be limited to people who have Robux. And then of course the ice machine and the popcorn machine. Ice machine should not be BLOCKBUX in my opinion. The popcorn machine should, because that's a little bit more of a special item, but that's a personal opinion. Then of course all the party items like flame projector, the fog projector, sparkle, stuff like that, I'm okay with being BLOCKBUX. It's a special item. You only use that in like really certain builds, not just like your house and stuff like that. Then the sound system, I don't know, it's not worth 120 for me. The high diving board, I mean, yeah, not a lot of people have high diving boards in their backyard, so I get it. We do have a normal diving board when you go to pool items. That is normal money, so a lot of people would opt for that, so I'm okay with that being BLOCKBUX. However, the slide, a lot of people want slides. We want bigger slides, we want customizable slides. This should not be BLOCKBUX, and especially not 240, because that's a lot of Robux. Let's see how much I would have to get. So 90 Robux for a slide, quite a lot for me. That's $1 for a slide. Then the skateboard, I kind of get that one, kind of don't, but if they like to add vehicles into the BLOCKBUX section, I guess that's okay. Disco floor party item, so should be in BLOCKBUX. We have the Express Brew. Now this one, yes, it should be in the BLOCKBUX category, because in real life those are really expensive and like not a lot of people have them either. But we should have a coffee machine where you can make cappuccinos with, and what else can you make with it? Of course, I don't have one right now, so I will have to buy one. So that's $1 for a coffee machine, but there should be coffee machines that cost normal money where you can make espressos with and cappuccinos, because I do feel like that's like an extra item we get for having Robux. And then same thing, like when the Valentine's update was here, we could make a special coffee. I forgot which one it was. It was like, or a rose tea or something like that. But you could only make it if you had the Express Brew. I think that's kind of like putting players back. So I wasn't the biggest fan of that. The Apx Computer and the one with the 3 screens, I mean, sure. It's a special item and we have a lot of different computers in the game. So why not make some of them BLOCKBUX? The wooden playset should be normal money. However, if you go into the garden section, you can still buy normal wooden swings and stuff like that, but this is just like an item you see in a lot of places. Like a lot of places have those like with the one slide and then the thing you can climb on. This should not be BLOCKBUX, because that's like putting a trampoline into the BLOCKBUX category. It's just a lot of people want it. Maybe the Bouncy Castle should have been in the BLOCKBUX category and not this playset, because I feel like more people would use this playset and not the Bouncy Castle. But that's me. Then this bathtub, I mean, not really worth it in my opinion. It's just a bath, and I think we already have corner baths, so yeah, we do have a corner bath here, so I would never spend money on that. Like, I mean, if I didn't have so much, I would never buy that. Then the arcade cabinet, you know what? I've always been salty about the fact that this one is so expensive, so 500 BLOCKBUX, which is 160 Robux, and if you place one, like I used to think before I had one or before I owned one, that you could actually play Tetris on it, and that would have been so fun, like if you went up to it, that like a game thingy opened where you could play Tetris, but this is all it does. Like that's literally all it does. So you could as well watch TV or play computer. So this is just like an extra item that really doesn't do anything. So I think it should be BLOCKBUX, but not 500, more like 200 or something like that. And maybe 200 is even too much, like 100. Then the jacuzzi, I get. It's a luxury item, and like I know a lot of people have one, but I still feel like it's a luxury item and definitely helps when you're working. The home cinema, I agree with as well. Then we have the motorcycle, the quad, the go-kart, the Blockster, board billet, Bloxus TS, and the Nubis limousine. My only comment on that is the quad, really overpriced. Like most of the vehicles are really, really overpriced. How much Robux is the quad? So you would have to get 320 Robux, that's over $3 for a car. The limousine is way overpriced. I would never pay that money. Like I have one limousine, I bought it for a video, but if it was for myself, I would have never bought it. Then the DJ booth is kind of fun, but it's also a luxury item, so I get why it's BLOCKBUX. Most of these cars I get, they are just a little bit overpriced in my opinion. So overall, I'm not mad about having BLOCKBUX items or items that you can only get when you have Robux or when you save up with your days played. I definitely think it's a fun addition to the game. I forgot the register. I think that should be free as well, because a lot of people have stores and then they want to use registers. So I mean, yeah, but I feel like BLOCKBUX should be more for luxury items that add something to the game that you don't really need. For example, the automatic light switch or the party items, stuff like that, the high diving board, because we already have a normal diving board, but not like items that you need to play the game. For example, the garden sprinkler. Like if you want a flower garden, you shouldn't be forced to spend BLOCKBUX on having a sprinkler to be able to keep it alive. And then also the tiny fridge, like the mini fridge, we should have one mini fridge at least. That isn't BLOCKBUX, but that's my opinion. And then the cars are overpriced, but I mean... But overall, I think they've done a really good job at offering us a lot of items that you can get without BLOCKBUX, which I'm happy about. They didn't make it into a money grab. However, the garden sprinkler I was kind of mad about when it came out, but that's like my main issue with them. Let me know what you think should be BLOCKBUX and shouldn't be BLOCKBUX and what they should change. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.